Okay, so today I'm going to go on a walk. I've been walking quite a bit because they're trying to put me on cholesterol medication. So I'm going to try to prevent that. And it's definitely from not exercising and not eating correctly and probably drinking too much. So I've been working on that. I've lost about 5 pounds. That's about it. So on a walk, we're just going to talk about just random general stuff. Okay, so we're on our walk, and I'm trying to be conscious of the way my hand is going up and down. I don't want it to be like this. I'm walking wide open and I'm bouncing all over the place. So I got to be conscious of just trying to keep my arm and my hand from not moving all over the place while I walk. I don't know, maybe it's still doing it, but I'm trying to keep it still. So I'm going to do that. So yeah, last night had some really strong winds. It was warm, about 50 something degrees. Today, beautiful day out. It's 36, still a tiny bit of wind. I'm walking into the wind right now, and yeah, it's a little cold. I would say with the wind chill, it's at least 30 degrees on my face. And that's that on the weather. But it's supposed to stay cold for the next few days, so we will see. I know I said the other day, well, I talked about Idaho, North Idaho. So North Idaho is a very large state. It's in the Pacific Northwest. We are bordered on both sides immediately, within less than an hour's drive to get to eastern Washington, and I guess it'd be western Montana. So yeah, that's where we would be on that. So we're in the Panhandle up in the top, and then Canada is above us, about an hour north drive. So that's where we sit, and Idaho is a large state, and it is bordered by, and I might be wrong about all the states, but Oregon, Washington, Montana, Utah, Wyoming. I think Wyoming, I could be wrong on that one, but definitely Montana next. So, and those are all very large states too, also. So that's that on Idaho and where we live. We're waiting on ski season. The ski resort, Schweitzer, is getting set to open a week from Friday. And we don't have a lot of snow. And they haven't been making a lot of snow. They don't have a lot of snow-making equipment, but they will try to at least get something open for Thanksgiving Day, which I think they probably will, because this week they're going to be able to make a lot of snow because it's going to be cold. Okay, switching my hands here, trying to keep the bumpity bump out of the camera, keep my arm from not going up and down. You can hear the train. So I told you guys that my job right now is a probation and parole officer. A lot of people don't know what, everybody calls them POs. A lot of people don't know what POs do. If you think about a PO, whew, doesn't sound great. PO. So really, really hard to explain my job because it's constantly, I said it's kind of a free fall. The people that I supervise, and don't get me wrong, most of the people I supervise are very, very nice and are genuinely good people. And I really enjoy most of them. So, anybody who I supervise is on felony, probation, or parole. And the rules for both parolees and probationers are essentially the same. Parolees are people that have been sentenced to prison and have been released but are still have to be supervised in the community. So it could normally, probationers, there's a train, get a little view of the train. And most people that are placed on probation are, you know, the bulk of what I deal with, the bulk of what I supervise is addiction. And when I say addiction, you know, obviously the first thing people think of is drugs. You know, alcohol is a gateway drug. Nobody wants to say that, but it is. Most people start drinking before they do anything else. So, and I also think that alcohol, you know, is just as harmful as any other, what people would call drugs. So, that's what I supervise for the most part, is people that have addictions or they abuse. And I'm not going to say a lot about I can't get into detail about certain individuals or people just in general on probation. It is, to me, one of the most intriguing jobs. There's a lot of sadness, there's a lot of heartache. So, my biggest thing, the way I supervise, is respect is first. I respect and expect the same in return, which I normally get, because like I said, the people I supervise are generally good people. So yes, on probation or on parole, you know, supervising people, there are bad people also. Some people are very bad. And I have dealt with those people also. But for the most part, like I said, it's people with addictions or their abuse. They abuse. You know, there's a lot of dysfunction, a lot of generational dysfunction. But I took this job on a suggestion from somebody when I was a bailiff at the courthouse. So I knew a lot of the law enforcement people. And a female came in and she asked if anybody would be interested in, you know, becoming a PO, a probation and parole officer. So I kind of was like, yeah, I'm interested. What do you do? She told me. And I decided that it was something that I thought would interest me. I do have an associate's degree in criminal justice or law enforcement. I don't know what exactly it is, but it's in that field, which I never use because, as I told you before, I worked in the airline business for 20 years. And I said it was Piedmont, US Airways, which is now American Airlines. I retired from the airline industry in 2005, and we moved out west. We moved to Idaho. That's another whole story in itself. So the good thing is I have lots of stories, and I'm sticking to them. And when I start telling repeats, it's when I should stop telling stories. I think I'm already on repeats. I think I already talked about the airline business and being a PO, but I didn't go into any detail about what the jobs entitle. So, law enforcement is like none other. Crazy all the time. Police officers have the hardest jobs in the world, I think. Also, people inside jails and prisons have very, very difficult jobs. It takes a special person to be able to do those jobs and to do those jobs well. And fortunately, we have a lot of those people in our community that are very dedicated to everybody. So it makes a good balance.